Hey, chicks, let's chat. So listen, all the time now we seem to be hearing people giving us different advice about relationships, right? People come up with all kind of top 10 lists. If you have this, it's a no. If they don't have this, it's a no. If they have this, it's a yes, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you know what it comes down to? Every time you pick a person to be in your life, it's an individualized choice, right? It does not matter what people have told you. It comes down to how you feel about that person and how you feel about having that person in your life. A lot of times you may have been raised a certain way, but then everything, everybody that you picking goes against how you were raised, right? You may have a circle of women who, everybody in there supposed to be top tier, and they like, hey, I need a man with money, etc., so forth. You may be the only one in the group that you feel like, hey, listen, he don't have to come with money. Like, I'm good with that. Like, I have my own money. You know what I'm saying? So everybody have their own standards and their own desires, and it really comes from personal experiences, things you have been through yourself, things that you have saw other people go through, what you have learned along the way in life, what you desire. You know what I'm saying? Some women are very much set on how a man looks, right? So that as long as he look good and is appeasing to their eyes, he could be a whole bum out here. He could be no good in every other area, but because he looks good, and he satisfies them physically, they can throw everything else out the window. Especially, I noticed that a lot in women who are self-sufficient. If they don't need his money and they really don't need, him to sustain them, or to sustain their lifestyle, he ain't got to have much going. All he has to do is be able to say things that they like to hear, and he has to be able to look a way that they like or that they can tolerate, and physically please them in a way that works well for them. If they're able to do that, a lot of times all the standards, all the morals, everything else, we'll throw it out the window a lot of times, sad but true, and then you have women who, maybe you grew up in the church, so the only kind of men you like are, men of the cloth, a man that has some type of rank, may have to be a pastor. Even if he married, you'll date him. May have to be a deacon in the church, may have to, be a old bishop, or, different people have different things based on how they was raised. There are some women who, they just flock to certain types of men. You have, like I said, you may have women who flock to men of the clergy. You have women who flock to celebrity type dudes and athletes. That's their goal. And if you don't have anything going in the entertainment industry, like, it's a no-go for them. So everybody have their own little thing about what they like, why they like, how they like, and it's all right, because that's what makes you. What works for you may not work for somebody else, and that's why we always have to be mindful when we giving advice to our friends, because you have to understand that unless your girlfriend has pretty much walked very, very similar life steps as you, she's going to be different. She's going to choose different. She's going to be okay with different things. You know what I'm saying? You may not be okay dating a married man, but you may have a best friend who does, right? Ain't nothing you could tell her about that man once she's in love with him, and you may not understand why it is that she chose to do that, right? But you have not walked in her shoes. Maybe she didn't have her dad growing up. Maybe it's something about that man that just speaks to the child in her, or that just speaks to, hey, the grown woman in her. He just do it for her. He just so happened to be in a whole nother situation, but it works for her, even if it's just for a small time frame. Morally, are there some issues with that? Yes, but hey, it happens all the time. The same way you may have a friend girl who, you know what, She ain't dating no married man, but she keep having churn after churn after churn, and she ain't married nobody. You know what I'm saying? What it really ain't that much of a difference. You know, it's a different setting, a different situation, but is there some things off morally? Perhaps. You know, but you understand, hey, she may have came up as the only child. So maybe she always wanted company. So that's why she keep having kids. Maybe she just loves children. Maybe she always wanted to be a mom. You know, it's easy for us to throw out judgments when people make different decisions than we make, right? But at the end of the day, I think, you know, it benefits us to be able to step out of our shoes and be able to put yourself in the shoes of another person sometime, just for understanding purposes. Because a lot of times we're so different, right? And we want to speak to our friends and encourage them in a way to be similar to us. You know, yeah, you shouldn't do that because you know what I'm saying? But guess what? That girl didn't come up like you. Or that guy, he wasn't raised like you. You was raised by your mama. He was raised by his mama and his daddy. Y'all gonna move different. You know what I'm saying? Just like me, I'm a woman. However, I was raised mostly by my dad. So I'm always going to view things, move, think different than my counterparts who maybe was raised by a single mom. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe even my friends who were raised by their mom and their dad. I'm going to be just a tad bit different. You know, they're going to be just a tad bit different. You know, and I have to be able to understand why it is they make certain decisions. You know what I'm saying? Without being so extra judgmental. And especially when it comes to them picking their mate. Because like I said, you're going to pick your person based on your own experiences. It's very much an individualized thing. No matter how many people talk on the topic, no matter how many top 10 lists you may read, oh, a man has to have this, oh, a woman better come to the table with this, etc. so forth. When you picking and choosing, you picking based on what you like, your experience, your past experiences, wherever you are at that moment in time in life. It's decisions that I have made at my older age that I wouldn't even made at my younger age, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things depend on just where you are in the moment. You know, so it's hard sometimes for you to be your age and then you speaking to someone who may be 2 generations younger than you, because they haven't experienced life yet. They may not have even ever been hurt yet. So you a whole different person before you ever get that real first hurt. Because that little high school hurt, yeah, it's something. But that first real love hurt, oh, well, baby, look here, you finna be a whole different person after that. I sure hate it for you. But we all know when life really, really hurts us from a loved one, from a partner, oh, that changes you. So it has potential to change your perspective, to change your outlook. And that's why a lot of times when we're talking and we're getting advice, especially from, you know, maybe older people, it could be your parents, it could be your mom, your auntie, your uncles, you have to be mindful because they're coming from a place where they have more experiences than you have. And they may have more hurts than you. You know, they may even have more pleasures, more joys than you as well. So even that perspective is going to be different. You know, if all they have experienced was a wonderful husband all their life, you know, a man that helped raise their kids and that's who they've been with, they've had a happy marriage, you know, they're going to have a different perspective than a woman who, you know, was married 15 years, husband left her with kids and didn't really help take care of them and then went on and married somebody else and looked like they're having a happy life. Those women going to give you 2 different types of advice when you talking to them, right? Because their experience has been different. And life experiences, they shape us, they mold us, you know. And a lot of times, hey, if you, after you experience that certain level of hurt, if you don't get the right help after that, or if you don't heal in the right way, you're going to be a negative person and you may be bitter. And so also when you're giving advice to people, it's going to come across as such. So you have to be mindful when you're taking advice from people who are hurt, who have been hurt, who are bitter, angry, never did get over this, never did get over that. You have to be very mindful of that. And we really have to just be mindful of the standards that we set. Because like I said, sometimes you will set standards for yourself. You'll set standards for other people that you can't even live up to yourself. You will say, oh, he has to make X amount of dollars when you ain't even making half of that. You just want him to make that type of money so that it can possibly increase your living standards. That's nice, but is it realistic? Is it realistic, and is it a good thing just to have that there as a non-negotiable? Like, you can't come down off of that, because you can meet the best man of your life, and guess what? He don't make that type of money. Then what? So you overlook him because he don't make that type of money? Well, I guess you just missed out on one. There was times in my life where I liked, specific guys. I liked the specific guys because why? Because I didn't have to worry about doing anything for them. They were self-sufficient. They maybe was getting their money the wrong way, but they weren't coming to me asking me for none. I ain't had to do nothing for them. So that was definitely up my alley, right? But then as you get older, you're like, yeah, but I don't want to have to deal with this person going to jail, or I don't want to have to deal with, multiple women all the time. And it's just certain things that come with that lifestyle that I don't want to deal with. I still don't want to have to take care of you. Still ain't going to do that. But at the same time, perhaps you could have you a job. At least you can have a job or a business where you're still being self-sufficient. You may not have that extra $200-$300 every other day for us to go out to eat and splurge. You may not have that type of money based on your job, but you still able to be self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to worry about the headaches that come with a man running the streets and being in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So everyone has had, like I said, everybody has their own life experience that they've been through. And we're taught certain things, and all the time, those things don't always work. The things that we come up, as a law, oh, you have to have this. How many women were taught, oh, get your man out of church, this, that. You get a joke out of church, he the worst thing you ever ran across. I mean, straight garbage. Take you up, down, and through there, and it took you and a few more women in the church up, down, through there. Like, sometimes you do have to break off from what was told and taught to you, right? Not that it didn't come from a great space, because of course, what a person really was saying is, get you a man with a moral compass, get you a man who has some principles, who stands on something, stands for something, has the fear of God in his life, want to live right, want to do right. That's what they were saying. But a lot of times we took it too literally, like you had to go, and if you don't meet him in the church, it ain't nothing. You can meet that man in the church. And he just was out last night, or he just was doing X, Y, and Z. Got a whole family way over yonder somewhere, So you have to use good judgment, use, like I say, wise counsel, and go to God about certain things. But like I say, when it comes down to it, it's going to be a situation where it's individualized. So you want to make sure that your best self is choosing and deciding, not your hurt self, not your scared self, not your, I'm getting older, I don't want to, grow old by myself, let me just go ahead and get with him. Not your, I'm just going to settle, I just need a man in the house. So he ain't even got to work. Just, I take him. Make sure the best version of yourself is choosing. If the best version of yourself chooses, it's more than likely to be a solid decision. But when you choosing out of anger, hurt, lust, need, frustration, get back, oh, you gonna go and holler at this person to piss this person off. Not a good move. You might have accomplished what you set out to accomplish, but now you stuck in this situation over here that you really don't want to be in, and now you probably can't even go back to that other situation that you really wanted to work out. So, yeah. And men, y'all definitely have to make sure that y'all choosing y'all situation from the best possible person. You know, guys get caught up in situations all the time, especially when they're younger. You know, you don't want to be the bad guy. You know, you don't want to have, promised her this or made her feel like y'all were going to be this, and then now you disappoint her, or you end up getting a baby from her when you're young, and then now you feel like you stuck with her, and then your mama on your back, or society on your back, because you don't want to make her a statistic and not be with her, but your heart is not in it. Your heart really is not in it. You want to do right, but you're not ready to just settle down and just be with her. You know what I'm saying? And then so you take her through life, and you taking her through things in life. Because why? Because you made that decision from a person that wasn't their best self. You know, you were still trying to figure it out. You were still trying to learn. You was caught up in life. You was not ready to make those decisions, and then you did. And then like you took everybody up through there in the process, even yourself. You know, so whether you young, middle age, or older, the best thing we could do for ourselves is to become the best version of ourselves. So then when we picking and we choosing mates, we pick and choose those mates from a very solid and safe space. And that's what I got for you. What I'm smelling like today, I am smelling like Indian jasmine. Another little thing, I picked this one up from where I picked this up from? I picked this up from Ulta. So just a little, little 1-2. I like the little things that roll, old school roll on you. And so it's one of those. Cause I had been hearing about like Indian fragrances. So I was like, let me just smell some of them and see. So this was the one that I actually liked. And then I paired it with like a little body mist from Kate Spade. So nice little combo. On my lips today, what I have the gloss, my Revlon. It's like a little brown color, and then I have like a little matte color, a little some. Y'all could probably see it. But yeah, like I said before in one of my other videos, I like, kind of like natural nude tones or whatever. Those are my go-to in this season. Every now and then you'll catch me with like a red or a burgundy lip or whatever. I love those too as well. But so that's it for today. Y'all go ahead and have a safe Friday. Enjoy your weekend. And like I said, when you're choosing your mates, be the best person you could be and choose from a safe, happy, healed place if and when you can. And I believe that your decisions will be better. Have a good one.